tonight on CTV News, the future of the Christchurch Court Theatre and upset residents in earthquake-hit Waimakariri district. Welcome to CTV News, I'm Emily Cooper. While relief has come for many residents in Canterbury's worst-hit suburbs, earthquake-affected residents in the Waimakariri electorate are being told they must wait for further investigations into the state of their land following the government's announcement last week. Large parts of affected areas in Kaipoi have been categorised in the orange zone. Member of Parliament for Waimakariri and opposition earthquake recovery spokesperson Clayton Cosgrove says 2 weeks ago Kaipoi residents believe that progress was well advanced compared to other areas of Canterbury in terms of earthquake recovery and were just days away from remedial work beginning. But now the government claims that in light of the shakes it's decided to revisit the proposals for Kaipoi and halt the rebuild program. And we'll have more on issues in this area, including an interview with Waimakariri Mayor David Ayres on Thursday. And in some more positive news, Canterbury's Mount Hutt opened yesterday to the delight of Canterbury skiers. Mount Hutt was the first ski field in the country to open, with around 400 skiers hitting the slopes yesterday. Shots from Mount Hutt's Facebook page shows people from around the world enjoying the first hit of snow. Most fields around the country have been closed due to a lack of snow and unusually high temperatures, leaving seasonal workers without work. Canterbury tourism has taken a hit from the quakes and a subsequent milder winter, but now a wintry blast is due to push across New Zealand. And the future of the Court Theatre is still looking bright, as the rebuild will take a step closer next week with a black tie fundraising function called Carry On Court.
I don't know about you, but one of the things I'm really missing as a result of the earthquake is the opportunity to go to the Court Theatre. I'm a fan of the Court Theatre, I go to most of their productions and I'm missing it. Live theatre, there is no substitute. But you can't blame the court. They were caught literally in a very awkward situation. But it's on the way back, and I'm involved in so much as I've paid my money and I'm going to go to something called Carry On Court. Ross Gumley knows all about it. Ross, just tell me, Carry On Court, what's the idea?
Well, Pete, we're building a new theatre in Addington. You know, we were in the Arts Centre, and who knows what the future of that building is, 15 years away at best, so we have to move on. And we found a 2,800 square metre ex-grain warehouse in Addington, which we're going to build a theatre in the middle of. And of course, 4.62 million. Yeah, you know, I thought the decimal point must be in the wrong place. This isn't right. So we have to raise that money. And the way we're going to start by doing that is by having a fundraising concert at the Aurora Centre on the 7th of July, which is Carry On Court, which is a musical extravaganza. When I rang up the artists who've worked at the Court Theatre over the years, they all shelved their lives and made themselves available for that week. And so we've got people like George Hanare coming down, Paul Barrett, who's done 62 plays at the Court Theatre over the years, Ali Harper. You know, we've done a few of these concerts in the past. Luke DeSoma is the musical director. And
back from New York?
He is, yeah. He spent 2 years at the Tisch School of the Arts. So this is the absolute cream of New Zealand musical theatre talent.
What format, Ross?
It's going to be a concert. This is also our 40th anniversary. And so we wanted to look back over the court's back catalogue and play the greatest hits. So this is a concert which is put on very much with the audience in mind, as is all the work we do at the Court Theatre, because we believe, you know, that a theatre is only as strong as its audience's belief in it.
We can't keep you out of it. What's your role?
I'm going to be emceeing it.
Oh, God, here we go.
Front centre. I can't help it. It's been too long. You know, the chance of having 700 people at the Aurora Centre and the ability to work that room, I can't wait.
You've decided on a black tie format, you know, to just raise the bar a bit?
It is. It's a great opportunity to dress up and go out. And let's face it, you know, we've got so few of those.
We've been starved, Ross, haven't we?
We have, which is why it's so important that the Court Theatre gets back up and running as soon as we can.
So the Aurora Aurora Centre, the date again.
The 7th of July. Now people can book by ringing the court's booking line, their old booking line, 963 0870, or they can book online at www.courttheatre.org.nz.
Now I found it quite simple. I sat at home on my computer, just went online, booked my 2 tickets, chose my seats, which is great.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm looking forward to going to the Aurora Centre.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So the very best of luck for it. 7th of July. All I can say is it's genuine from me. I am definitely taking the landlady of myself, and we are looking forward to just a night to forget everything that's gone on. Why don't you become part of it as well?
Air travel is almost back to normal, with Jetstar and Qantas resuming flights around the country after an ash cloud from a Chilean volcano forced them to cancel flights for a second time. All flights to and from Christchurch were cancelled last week because of the ash cloud. Air New Zealand did not cancel any flights this time around. And recovery of the Pike River bodies will begin on the west coast today, the first time people have been into the mine since the 29 miners were killed in a blast in November. Rescue staff will work to erect a temporary seal. It's now thought the body recovery could take up to 2 years, but it's not certain how long the recovery will take. Coming up after the break, we get an update from St John's Ambulance. Welcome back. A report released today states the September and February earthquakes affected nearly 2/3 of New Zealand businesses. According to the 2011 Grant Thornton International Business Report, 18% of businesses has suffered long-term effects, 26% suffered a medium-term impact, and 20% had suffered a short-term hit. The survey, which was undertaken after the 4th of September and 22nd of February earthquakes, states one of the main overriding problems facing businesses since the recent earthquakes is the shrinking talent pool for staff and senior management. The survey also states, with it being unlikely that people outside of the construction sector will move to Christchurch, the demand impact for talent and skills is likely to have an inflationary effect on wages and salaries, and while the impact has hit Christchurch the hardest, businesses across New Zealand have also been affected. And we'll have more business news in our business update tomorrow. In other news now, motor racing fans in Canterbury are in for a real treat this season with the launch of a new series with cars faster than ever before and named drivers not normally seen here.
These cars are, I guess, in the best way to describe them is very similar to a V8 supercar. So they're a purpose-built race car, but then teams can choose at the moment a Falcon FG or a Commodore VE2 body to put into the chassis. And we might see some other manufacturers as well. And then from there we have a common engine, common gearbox, 7-litre engine, 550 horsepower, 500 foot-pound of torque. These cars are going to go fast.
Motorsport New Zealand have said their future plan is to put stars in cars.
Absolutely, their future plan is, to 2015, as they want stars in cars and they want modern makes to be represented in their Star Touring Car series. So that's what we're bringing to the fans of Canterbury.
Names?
Greg Murphy, Craig Baird, Paul Manuel, Andy Booth, Andy Knight, Eddie Bell from Christchurch, myself obviously, and we've got a great lot of interest from Australian supercar drivers as well. We've got the young guys coming through, the recent Formula Ford champion Andre Heimgartner, only 16 years old. He's an entrant, so we're getting a mixture of the old pros and the young wannabes.
And the young guns are going to be pretty determined, John.
Look, they are, and the type of car that we've built means that those guys can see it as a platform to maybe go overseas or to go to V8 supercars. Previously, the cars we've had at the top of New Zealand V8s, they've been a bit archaic in their technology, and the young guys have skipped the V8s and gone to Toyota or Porsche. Now they'll be coming straight to us, and we'll look forward to having them.
You've driven an Australian V8 and you've driven one of these. Difference?
The difference is the V8 Super Tourer is actually a better balanced car than the Australian car. It's lighter by 100 kgs. The engine is 200 mils further back. It's on an 18-inch tyre, so it's a lower profile. It's more responsive. I hate to say it, Aussies, but it's quicker.
It really is quicker than a supercar.
Absolutely. If we had the 2 cars out here today, I'd be more than happy to put some money down to say that the Super Tourer would beat the Aussie car for sure.
How many chances are we going to get to see these things in Christchurch?
Well, we're going to bring 2 events to Christchurch, so RAP to be bringing this to obviously the Powerbook Tools Raceway next year. The first meeting will be here in March, at the end of March, and that's going to be a sprint round. And then we will be bringing a big endurance race here. It's our final of the series, 500k enduro. Superstars who have shown interest are people like Scott Dixon, you may have heard of.
Yeah, we have heard of him.
David Brabham, a lot of guys who go to Australia and do the Gold Coast 600 race are wanting to come over and have a week in Canterbury afterwards and finish off their sojourn down here with a 500k.
So, reaction from Powerbook Raceway?
Oh, I'm very excited, Rob, of course. I think it's all about motorsport entertainment, and this event, without a doubt, will bring probably the best motorsport event to the South Island.
Kenny tonight spoke to Christine Price from St John's Ambulance on City Life about how the annual appeal is going and the latest updates.
So how are the St John personnel going after the earthquake?
Oh, I think there's a sort of a huge spirit within St John that, people are really looking towards the future. Certainly a lot of the work that we're doing now is about, well, how do we ensure that we're best prepared, that we're ready, for what, the future might present. But of course, we do have to remember that a lot of personnel have, like everybody in Christchurch, been affected in different ways, through, loss of their homes and various other ways. And that it is an ongoing process. We have a kind of a whole new set of norms that everybody's dealing with here in Christchurch.
So was St John ready for, this kind of event?
Yeah, certainly St John are, always as the very nature of the service that they provide, as an emergency service. Yes, they were ready, but one thing that we need to focus on at the moment is, well, are they, best placed to be ready to face future events? And it took an extraordinary effort, in terms of personnel, but also in terms of all possible resources throughout the St John network. So now we're looking at, having to replace, an ambulance that, it might have to be replaced through what we might call wear and tear, just because it's been on the Christchurch roads that, of course, are now so bad that any vehicle will have a much shorter lifespan than possible. There'll be new communications equipment. There'll be equipment that we now know would better equip St John, with the job that they have to do.
Coming up after the break, your local weather. Welcome back. Bowel Awareness Month is the month of June, with the aim to raise awareness for bowel and liver cancer. Our own Pete Smith is also trying to raise awareness. Kenita spoke to him and Associate Professor Richard Geary on City Life about the work of the Bowel and Liver Trust.
Welcome, Associate Professor Richard Geary and Pete Smith. Good to have you both on the program.
Thank you. Hello.
Now, firstly, I've invited you both here as you're both part of, or both involved with the Bowel and Liver Trust Canterbury. Can you tell me about that?
So the Bowel and Liver Trust is a great organisation that's been going in Canterbury now for many years, and the major role of the trust is to raise awareness and to raise money for research and equipment for the Canterbury region to promote bowel health. And it's not something that we tend to talk about very much, Kenita. It's something that often is swept under the table, not dinner time conversation, but it's important to know that the Bowel and Liver Trust has really done a great job at promoting research that's shown us that 1 in 17 New Zealanders by the age of 75 will develop bowel cancer. 1 in 250 Canterburyans will get inflammatory bowel disease, which is Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, one of the highest rates in the Western world. And also 1 in 100 people will get celiac disease in Canterbury as well. And these are all common conditions that we don't really talk about too much.
Why are the rates so high here in New Zealand?
It's hard to know, but clearly I think part of it is that there is an awareness about it. Through research that the Bowel and Liver Trust has supported, people are a bit more aware of it. But we don't really understand what it is in our environment that may predispose us to some of these illnesses.
Do you think it's what we're eating?
It's possible, but I think that the data isn't there, and that's where the Bowel and Liver Trusts come in, trying to fund research to understand these things in a better way.
Okay. How can we sort of make this more aware?
Well, I think things like the month of men's health that we're having at the moment is a really important thing, and the key thing is to talk about it. It's very easy to talk about things, and if you've got problems, go to your doctor. If you've got a problem with your bowels, if you've got all of a sudden get a change in your bowels or bleeding from the bowels or symptoms that aren't explained, go and see your doctor, and they're the best people to work out what the best tests are to do in that regard.
So let's look at the tests that are taken.
So if we're going to investigate the gut, there's a number of different ways to do it, and the best way or most efficient way is where we have a look inside the gut with an endoscope, which is a flexible instrument that allows us to go in either through the mouth down to the stomach, or we can go in from below through the bottom and have a look around the colon, and that's where we find colon cancer, and that's where a colonoscopy is one of the best tests to diagnose that.
Okay, so do you get everybody to have one of those tests?
Not everyone. It depends very much on the types of symptoms that people may have, but certainly if we're going to look at bowel cancer and the best way of preventing it, then a colonoscopy is the best way to do that. Okay. Whether someone needs one or not is something they should discuss with their GP.
And we'll continue to follow Pete's progress over the next couple of weeks. Well, winter illnesses are around at the moment, and Pete's sure that men get the flu more severely than women. He hit the streets today to ask, do men get the flu worse than women?
Now, there's not many things that I'm an authority on, but I'm promising you, I know for a fact that men get the flu more seriously than women. Far more, in fact. It's almost life-threatening. Street Talk today is going to find out, am I correct or not? We're going to ask a few Canterburyans. Men must get the flu more severely than women. Men get more severe flu than women, don't they?
Yeah.
It's a known fact, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
I think so.
Definitely.
Of course.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they definitely do.
I don't think so. No.
You know?
I don't think so at all.
Oh, absolutely.
They
don't understand, do they?
Yes. According to my husband, yes.
Yes, that's why they call it the man flu.
Yeah. Do you really know what it is?
I think it's probably partly built on their imagination.
It's called man flu, but it's totally different from a woman genuinely getting the flu.
Men do get a more serious dose of the flu than women.
They think they do.
Well, don't you think they do?
They think they do. Well, I don't think they do, but they think they do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes?
Yeah.
And it's been going on for a while.
They don't get flu, they get pneumonia.
I can't answer that.
Do you not get the flu?
Well, I do. I get it once a year.
We're really ill with it, aren't we?
Yeah, probably it is certain disease.
If your man gets the flu, you know he's dying, don't you?
Definitely.
And how do you feel when you've got it?
No good.
Yeah. So it's actually life-threatening, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
yes, they take to their beds and
how do you
enjoy a good suffer.
Do we get enough sympathy for it?
No.
Right, you don't reckon? No.
Don't think I get much sympathy, no, when I get the flu. No,
I don't think they understand how severe it is, do you?
Women?
Yeah.
Don't
Yes, I think so.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, sympathy, yeah.
Do you think we moan a bit too much or not about it?
Not much,
No.
but certain sympathy definitely.
No.
No,
They don't understand, do they?
No, I don't.
You just got to battle on.
Yeah.
Do you get any sympathy? No. Just got to soldier on, don't we?
Hard enough, get back to work.
No, none at all.
None at all.
None at all.
You poor devil. What do you do to try and comfort them?
I don't do anything much.
Do you just leave them alone?
Yeah.
Pull yourself together.
Or just like that?
Yeah, pull yourself together. Get up and sit out in the sun.
And do they get up and obey their orders? No.
Or actually, mine does. And then he sits there for a while and he goes, I don't feel at all well.
Have you ever had man flu, do you think?
No, I have woman flu.
What do you do when you get the flu?
Carry on as normal.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Suck it up.
You're just so much stronger, are you?
No. I don't think it's that. I just think that I think women are maybe a little bit more used to it.
If we say we've got the flu, we're ill, whereas with a man, it's...
Yeah, but you tend to soldier on, don't you?
Yeah.
I think that women feel ill
more often, and for men it doesn't happen as often because of biological reasons.
Oh.
And so when they do get the flu or a cold,
Yeah.
it's the man flu.
But it's very debilitating for a male, isn't it?
They think it is.
What do you reckon some of the real bad symptoms are that we get?
Oh, tiredness.
What are sort of the symptoms that really are bad for men?
Congested nose and cough and things like
And when you get the flu, you don't get all that, do you?
Well, I generally work when I've got the flu as well. They tend to
Oh,
take
you
a few
keep
days
going?
Yeah, absolutely.
Men tend to stop, don't they?
No, they tend to keep going too, but it takes a long time.
We're just a bit soft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's harsh. But it's a different strain, you know.
Of course, man flu, it's
Very-
severe.
It is
Very
severe.
severe.
No, maybe they need to give men more sick days during the year.
Ah.
Yeah, make up for the women, especially
Quite
after
right.
what Mr. Thompson said.
Because you wouldn't have time with the flu, would you? You'd have to
No,
keep going.
I haven't got time to give them sympathy. and I'm a nurse, so they
Oh,
don't get any.
no. So there you are, overwhelming evidence. We do get a strain of the flu which women know nothing about. Even Steph, my camera person, has changed her opinion. She doesn't realise just how tough life is being a bloke.
And that's CTV News. I'm Emily Cooper.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.